aquí estamos, Fundamentos de Español, Lección 1. So just to kind of give you a little introduction to the course, Stephanie, we're basically preparing you to have kind of basic entry-level conversations with people at work in your community, and if you go on a trip, not that you can go anywhere right now,
Okay.
but the goal is to teach you how to be conversational in just 3 months in Spanish. Okay.
Yes.
We're going to teach you by becoming conversational. So I don't want to, lead you wrong and say you're going to be fully fluent or master the language. That takes,
Understandable.
a lot of time. But to be able to start introducing yourself to people in Spanish and make small talk, ask people what they like to do for fun, what their interests are, hobbies, sort of thing, and to order food in restaurants and go shopping, and I'm also really big on culture. I love teaching the cultural differences. Okay.
Cool.
So today, the basic, the goal of today's class is to teach you how to introduce yourself to someone in Spanish. Okay. So I'm going to teach you the greetings and the culture behind greeting people. Believe it or not, just something as simple as saying hello to somebody culturally is a little bit different. We'll talk cognates, pronunciation and vowels, our numbers up to 10, and a little vocabulary that you can use at both work and school. Okay. I don't know if you want to take a screenshot of this or write this information down, but I want you to make sure that you have my contact information, email, and this is my direct cell phone number. So like if you can't make it to class, or you're running late or something like that, just let me know. Also, if you have questions in between classes, you can reach out to me. And then also, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, feel free to send me an invitation to connect, because I put a lot of stuff about the Spanish language and culture on those social media sites. Yo soy de Estados Unidos, so I'm actually from the United States. But I have viví en España, Argentina, Chile, y Ecuador. So I've lived in 5 different countries, and I've traveled to practically, maybe not every Spanish-speaking country, but I would say probably the majority of them at this point. Y tú? So y tú means and you. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from?
I am from America.
So you could say, soy de Estados Unidos.
Soy de Estados Unidos.
Good.
Estados Unidos.
Perfect.
United States, Colorado.
Have you ever traveled to a Spanish-speaking country before?
Oh, plenty. Yes. See. I have actually been to Spain, Argentina, Chile.
Oh, wow.
Uruguay.
Really? Wow, fantastic.
Where else? I think that's it.
Cool. What were you doing in those countries?
I was a professional ice skater.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
I've never met a professional ice skater before. That's cool.
Yeah, so it took me, I traveled for 7 years around the world. So I did I went to, I love Chile and Argentina.
Yeah.
I've been there twice. Each time I was in each city for about 2 to 3 weeks. So I made it through with my Google Translate, and people were so nice there that it was fine. But yeah.
Okay. Nice. Wow. So you've got some good reasons to learn Spanish then.
Yes. And my boyfriend's from the Dominican, so now I have to.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Argentina is my favorite. I loved Argentina.
I love Argentina. They have the best food.
Yeah. Nice. Bueno, te cuento un poco de mi experiencia profesional, so my professional experience. I've been teaching Spanish since 2005 in one way or another. I kind of started off in my university program after I lived in those 4 different countries. and I came back from doing a semester abroad in Argentina, my Spanish professors invited me to start tutoring people because I was having really, really good success with the language, like practically getting a 100% on all my tests and everything.
Cool.
And I was ruining the curve for all my other classmates. So they're like, man, you got to help these guys pass their class, because normally, you know, they said that they don't normally get somebody that gets grades like I was getting, you know, so they normally would grade on my curve, and I was ruining that for them. So I started tutoring.
You.
Yeah. Well, I just, you know, I studied really hard. I really wanted to learn how to speak Spanish. So, yeah, so I did that and then I continued doing that outside of college. I officially started the language school in 2007, right after graduating. And I've got a degree in international business, Spanish, and marketing. So I kind of, you know, my Spanish classes are not only conversational, but they're also professional as well because of that experience. ¿Y tú a qué te dedicas? So what do you do for work now?
Experiencia profesional. I am a wax specialist.
Okay, wow.
I remove hair off of people.
Okay.
I'm an esthetician, I guess. I deal with skin.
Okay, cool. Wow, interesting. Very good. Well, you know, those types of services are huge in the Spanish-speaking community, you know?
Yep, I've heard that too, yeah. And that's why I also thought it'd be good to learn Spanish.
The Spanish-speaking community is all about looking pretty and beauty and, you know, way beyond, like, if Americans like that services, Latinos are like 10 times more likely to get that service. So this will help you with your professional career. Nice. Okay, me gusta means I like. Me gusta tocar la guitarra y los tambores. So I like to play the guitar and the drums. Me gusta viajar. I like to travel. Me gusta ir al gimnasio. I like to go to the gym. Me gusta leer. I like to read. Me gusta ver películas. So I like to watch movies too. Algo interesante. Bailaba con un grupo profesional de salsa. So something interesting is that I used to dance with a professional salsa group.
That's cool.
Yeah. ¿Y a ti qué te gusta? What do you like?
Viajar. Same with dancing, but not in I was a professional ice skater. Was that patinar au glace? Or no, that's French.
Patinar sobre hielo.
Patinar
sobre hielo is ice skating. So I can write that for you.
Hielo. Yeah. And I would say tocar patinar sobre.
No, patinar is the verb.
Okay,
so this is how you say it, yeah. So you could just say, me gusta patinar sobre hielo.
Okay. Me gusta patinar, okay. And me gusta viajar. Me gusta ver películas. Cooking.
Me gusta cocinar.
Cocinar.
Muy bien. Nice. Let's see here. Cool. So, ¿por qué estudiar español? Why study Spanish? There are many really great reasons for learning Spanish. As you know, because you've traveled to some of these countries, there's over 20 countries in the world where they speak Spanish, and they're, for the most part, pretty amazing countries to visit, you know, really fun cultures, lots of stuff to do. And if you have US dollars, you can definitely travel on a budget. Spanish is increasingly becoming a requirement here in Denver. About 1 out of every 3 people speak Spanish here in the city of Denver. So if you can think about that, if you speak English and you speak Spanish, if you're an esteticista, which is a esthetician, you can do business with virtually everybody in the city of Denver. So it'll help you with that. And it is the second most spoken language in the world. There are over 500 million Spanish speakers. So whenever I start teaching a new student, I always like to talk about reasons why, because this is a process that takes a lot of time. So you have to be really dedicated. You have to make this your top priority, and you have to be pretty dedicated, for at least 6 months to make some real progress with the language. And whenever you have something that is, such a big goal and also so challenging, you have to really define your reasons for doing it, because you might come to a point where you're like, I give up, so I don't want you to give up. These are my reasons for learning how to speak Spanish. And these saved me from the point when I was almost about to give up. I sat down and wrote these reasons out 20 years ago. And by doing this activity, it prevented me from giving up. So I wanted to be able to talk to my neighbors in Spanish. At the time I really got serious with learning Spanish. I was living in this apartment building where almost all of my neighbors were from Mexico. So, walking through the hallways, you hear the music. When you see your neighbors, you try and say hi, and they always just respond, ¿Cómo está? And so I wanted to be able to get beyond that just first introductory greeting. I really like the Latina ladies, so I wanted a Spanish-speaking girlfriend. You're dating a Dominican, so
Yes, I am.
And I wanted to be able to travel all over Latin America. At the time, I really wanted to get a motorcycle and just drive south all the way down to Argentina and just explore and have adventures and stuff like that. But I also had kind of more professional reasons. At that point in history, I was working in construction, which, as you know, here in the United States, the people that are building our buildings for us speak Spanish. So I wanted to be able to talk to everybody on the job site. I did not want to work construction forever, so I wanted to have a more professional resume that said I was bilingual so I could be more competitive in the job market. And then I wanted to be flexible with where I could work, just because you never know, I do often think about, moving to Latin America permanently. So, y tú, why don't you just take a moment and write down, see if you can think of 3 personal reasons, like friends and family, and then 3 professional reasons, like job opportunities and stuff, why you want to learn how to speak Spanish, okay?
I literally kind of just said the same things that you did, and I actually was writing them down as you were talking. I do want to speak with my neighbors. As I moved here, I now live with my boyfriend, and in the neighborhood he lives in, almost everyone here, from what I can tell, speaks Spanish. I have little kids run up to me and they want to know my name, and I just want to be able to talk to them. They're so cute. And then same with my boyfriend speaks Spanish, obviously. I live with him and his cousin, so I'd like to be able to understand what they're saying to each other, actually. And maybe also learn how to yell at him in Spanish. But also his parents only speak Spanish and French. They're from Haiti, so I'd like to know at least Spanish to be able to communicate with them.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, yes, obviously traveling to the DR. Eventually, he would like to go back to the DR and take me with him. So I want to be able to speak when I go. We end up doing it as a Spanish-speaking country, obviously. Find work and be able to say that I am bilingual, and just I don't know what I'll be doing there. He would like to start a travel agency as well from the Dominican, so I just want to be able to speak both Spanish and English. So yeah.
Nice, nice, cool.
Same things, I guess.
Good, you have great goals, so keep going. So I have a holistic approach to teaching Spanish. My experience of living in all these different Spanish-speaking countries has taught me that Spanish changes a little bit from one country to another. So I think it's really important to get a good understanding of those differences before you go, because when I thought I was doing pretty good, and then I got to Argentina and I was like, what?
Yes.
So I like to kind of expose my students to all those different variations. And, it's okay to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, and that's just part of the process. Here, you kind of have to let go of your pride and your ego, not saying that you have a whole lot of pride or ego or anything, but you have to keep, what's that?
I said, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. You have to just be okay with being uncomfortable and making mistakes, I don't know if you have kids. I have a 4-year-old son, so I just saw him learn how to start talking from 0, and essentially today you're like 1 year old with me in my Spanish classes.
I am. Yes,
and I'm hoping to get you to like being 5 years old by the end of this course.
I'd be down with that.
Okay. Let's start off and watch a little video of what we're going to learn today in Spanish.
In the first
let me see if I can share the screen with you now. All right, you should see my YouTube here.
Okay.
Lesson of Spanish here at the Language School, we teach our students how to make a proper introduction in Spanish. By the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to have the following conversation and introduce yourself in Spanish.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, estoy bien.
Me llamo Shakira. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Mark.
¿Cómo se deletrea tu nombre?
M-A-R-C.
Mucho gusto.
Igualmente.
¿De dónde eres?
Soy de Puerto Rico.
¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en Florida.
¿Dónde trabajas?
Trabajo en Nueva York.
¿Qué te gusta?
Me gusta cantar.
¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono?
01234567789.
Bien, estamos en contacto.
Me parece bien.
Hasta luego.
Nos vemos.
So how much of that could you understand?
Yes.
How much of that could you understand, Stephanie?
I mean, pretty much all of it.
Really? Okay, good. Wow. All right, so this should be an easy lesson for you today, huh?
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, so
understanding is one thing, speaking is another. So
okay, good. Well, today I'm going to teach you not only how to understand that, but how to say it too. So with our greetings, we're just going to start off. Hola, Stephanie.
Hola, David.
¿Cómo estás?
David or David?
David.
David, okay. Hola, David. Estoy bien.
Bien. So in informal situations, the culture is you normally greet friends and family with un besito, a little kiss on the cheek, okay? This can happen between men and women, women and women, and in certain cultures, this happens between men and men, okay?
Okay.
All right. In more formal situations, we do it with a handshake, un apretón de manos, okay? And this will happen in business meetings, and sometimes if you meet a new person, like if your boyfriend were to introduce you to somebody that he knew, you might shake hands, you might have a little kiss on the cheek, it depends, there's certainly some gray areas here. It all depends on your level of familiarity. I do believe that the Dominican culture is pretty kissy too. Have you learned?
Okay.
No,
not learned any of that stuff from him. He's not a very good teacher.
Yeah, well, that's why you're with classes with me, right? But you can, like, if you're getting ready to go down to the DR to meet his family, you just want to ask them what to expect. Hey, should I be
okay? Of course, we'll do.
To kiss your mom on the cheek when I meet her, or a handshake? Okay. It changes from one country to another, so. This is kind of a generalization, and that's why, like, if you ever get on a plane and go travel somewhere, you kind of want to make sure you know what the local customs and traditions are.
Of course.
Okay. Spanish is a phonetic language, so getting into the pronunciation, it's super duper easy. The vowels, we've got 5 vowels, and we've essentially got 5 sounds. They're almost always pronounced the same way. Repeat after me. A.
A.
E.
E.
I.
I.
O.
O.
U.
U.
Muy bien. Vamos a practicar. Repite. A.
A.
Nada.
Nada.
Mapa.
Mapa.
Hasta.
Hasta.
Papa.
Did you hear me? Hasta.
So now we're with papa.
Papa.
And then we have papa. Papa.
Papa.
And then mama.
Mama.
Okay. So the accent or the emphasized syllable is usually the second to the last in the word, okay? Unless it has one of these accent marks on it, and that accent mark indicates that you have to shift the emphasis. So that's why we have the word papa and papa, okay? They do matter because papa means potato and papa means dad. So you don't want to call your dad a potato.
No.
All right, repite. E.
E.
Me.
Me.
Es.
Es.
Bebe.
Bebe.
Este.
Este.
Dele.
Dele.
Leche.
Leche.
Y.
Y.
Fin.
Fin.
Civil.
Civil.
Tímido.
Tímido.
Italiano.
Italiano.
Biblia.
Biblia.
Difícil.
Difícil.
O.
O.
Loco.
Loco.
Poco.
Poco.
Como.
Como.
Ocho.
Ocho.
Coco.
Coco.
Todo.
Todo.
U.
U.
Tú.
Tú.
Club.
Club.
Anuncio.
Anuncio.
Mucho.
Mucho.
Música.
Música.
Cultura.
Cultura.
Muy bien. Nice pronunciation. Really good. All right.
Gracias.
So moving on along, the simplest and easiest way to introduce yourself to somebody is like this. Hola, me llamo David. ¿Cómo te llamas? And so
Do you
you're
want me
going
to
to
repeat
say,
you?
me llamo Stephani.
Oh. Me llamo Stephani.
Mucho gusto.
Igualmente.
Perfecto, yeah. So I'm just saying, hola, me llamo David. So hi, my name is David. ¿Cómo te llamas? What is your name? You respond by saying, me llamo Stephani. My name is Stephani. And then mucho gusto is just like saying it's nice to meet you. And then igualmente means likewise. Okay?
Likewise. Okay.
Okay. Here are some really common questions that you'll hear when you're meeting somebody for the first time in Spanish. ¿De dónde eres? Means where are you from? Repeat after me. ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde es?
Perfecto. You can answer that by saying, I am from, in Spanish, soy de. Repite.
Soy de. Soy de.
And then the next common question would be to say, ¿Dónde vives? Meaning, where do you live? Repite. ¿Dónde vives?
¿Dónde vives?
And then you'd respond, vivo en.
Vivo en.
I live in.
I live in.
Muy bien. Last one. ¿Dónde trabajas?
¿Dónde trabajas?
Where do you work? ¿Dónde trabajas? Muy bien. And you respond to that by saying trabajo en. Okay? So let's practice. Let's put it all together. ¿De dónde eres?
Soy de US.
Soy de los Estados Unidos.
Soy de los Estados Unidos.
Muy bien.
Estados Unidos. US? Or no? At the end of that?
Soy de los Estados Unidos. Ajá.
Okay. Okay.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay. ¿Dónde vives?
Oh, wait, what was that again? I'm sorry. What is vives?
Where do you live? ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en Colorado.
Muy bien. ¿Dónde trabajas?
Trabajo en mi apartment. At home, en mi casa.
Trabajo en mi casa. Sí, trabajo en mi casa. Muy bien. Perfect. So now, moving on along, another really great way to make conversation is to talk about what you like. ¿Qué te gusta? Okay, what do you like?
¿Qué te gusta? Oh.
Okay, so ¿qué te gusta?
Okay.
Here you could respond by saying me gusta, I like. And then I've just got some really common categories. Comida is food. So, por ejemplo, la comida china, Chinese food. La comida italiana, la comida mexicana, la comida cubana. You could say la comida dominicana. We've got our bebidas. So, la cerveza is beer. El vino is wine. El tequila is straightforward. El mojito. Do you know what a mojito is?
Of course, gotta love a mojito.
Okay, bien. Deportes means sports. So we've got el fútbol. Careful with this one. This one means soccer. El fútbol means soccer. If you want to talk about our football, you say el fútbol americano.
Yep.
El baloncesto means basketball. El béisbol means baseball. Super popular in the DR. And then we have our actividades, activities. So we have estudiar means study. Cocinar means to cook. Bailar means to dance. And esquiar means to ski.
Bailar, sí.
Okay. ¿Qué te gusta, Stephanie?
Me gusta bailar.
¿Te gusta bailar?
Y el vino y la comida mexicana.
Muy bien. All right, I can add a little more detail to this question with the word hacer, okay? So I could say, ¿qué te gusta hacer? Meaning, what do you like to do? Okay, what do you like to do? And you would answer, me gusta, okay? And now you have to answer with an activity. So for example, you could say, me gusta correr en el parque. I like to run in the park, okay? Or en el gimnasio is in the gym, or in las montañas, in the mountains. Me gusta cocinar la comida mexicana. I like to cook Mexican food. O la comida italiana, la comida estadounidense. Last one, me gusta leer is to read. For example, me gusta leer la ciencia ficción, science fiction. Me gusta leer el misterio is mystery, and la biografía would be biographies, okay? Stephanie, ¿qué te gusta hacer?
Me gusta cocinar la comida italiana.
Muy bien.
Y me gusta leer ciencia ficción.
Okay, perfecto. Okay, What does this question mean? What do you think this question means? Puedo hacer una pregunta.
I have no clue.
No? Okay. So it means, can I ask a question? Okay?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Repeat after me. Puedo hacer una pregunta.
Puedo hacer hacer
una pregunta.
una pregunta.
Muy bien. Okay, nice. What about this one? ¿Cómo se dice student?
How do I say student?
Exactly. How do you say student? Perfect. Okay. So vamos a practicar. Okay. These are really useful questions when it comes to learning how to speak Spanish. So start off and ask me, ¿puedo hacer una pregunta? I'm going to say sí. And then you ask me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one at a time.
Okay. ¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
Sí. And
Puedo.
now you ask number 1. ¿Cómo se dice computer?
¿Cómo se dice computer?
Se dice computadora.
Computadora. Okay.
Okay. Next one. ¿Cómo se dice? No, you asked me the next one. Sorry.
¿Cómo se dice
Oficina.
oficina? ¿Cómo se dice papel?
So no, you're asking me the question in English. That word is English. So you asked me, ¿cómo se dice
Sorry.
paper? Because you're asking me how to say it in Spanish. You're literally asking me how to say it in Spanish.
So sorry. ¿Cómo se dice paper?
Papel. Se dice papel.
¿Cómo se dice employee?
Se dice empleado.
¿Cómo se dice director?
Se dice director.
Director. ¿Cómo se dice student?
Se dice estudiante.
¿Cómo se dice conference room?
Se dice salón de conferencia.
¿Cómo se dice classroom?
Se dice salón de clase.
Se dice. Okay. Salón de clase.
Muy bien. Okay. So this question is the reverse of como se dice. Como se dice means how do you say, and you're going to follow that with a word in English for when you want to learn how to say something in Spanish. If you see a word in Spanish that you don't understand and you want to know what it means, you say ¿qué significa? Followed by whatever word that is. So if I were to say ¿qué significa estudiante? That's like saying what does estudiante mean? So that you can build up your understanding. Okay?
Right.
So we'll do the same thing here. Ask me, ¿puedo hacer una pregunta?
Okay. ¿Qué significa?
So first ask me, ¿puedo hacer una pregunta? Just
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
Sí.
¿Qué significa computadora?
Computadora significa computer.
Okay. ¿Qué significa oficina?
Oficina significa office.
¿Qué significa papel?
Papel significa paper.
¿Qué significa empleado?
Empleado significa employee.
Okay. ¿Qué significa director?
Director significa director.
Okay. ¿Qué significa estudiante?
Estudiante significa student.
Right. ¿Qué significa salón de conferencia?
Salón de conferencia significa conference room.
Okay. ¿Qué significa salón de clase?
Salón de clase significa classroom. Okay. Muy bien. All right, so we've just learned 3 super important questions for the Spanish classroom. Puedo hacer una pregunta. What does that mean?
Oh, shit. Oh, can I ask a question?
Yeah, good. ¿Cómo se dice student?
How do I say student?
¿En qué significa estudiante?
And what does the significant, or what is the significance, or what does that mean?
So what does it mean? Yeah, just simple. What does estudiante mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the Latin root there with the significance. So what is this? What is something that's significant? It's something that has meaning, right?
Right.
So we would say, hey, what does this word mean? Okay. All right. So moving on, nice little segue into this. Cognados, cognates, are words that exist in 2 or more languages that are going to be very similar in meaning and sound. Typically speaking, they were born from a parent language or borrowed from another language, okay? So our version, our modern day banking system actually has its roots from the Roman Empire, and the Italian word for bank was banca. The Spanish word for bank was banco, and then the English word for bank was bank. So these words, they look and they sound very similar, so you can actually guess your way through a lot of Spanish. So repeat after me. Repite, actor.
Actor.
¿Qué significa actor? So what does that mean?
It's an actor.
An actor, yeah.
Actor.
Repite, chocolate.
Chocolate.
¿Qué significa chocolate?
Chocolate.
Repite, director.
Director.
¿Qué significa?
Director.
¿Qué significa final?
Final.
¿Qué significa hotel?
A hotel.
¿Qué significa mango?
A mango.
¿Qué significa normal?
Normal.
¿Qué significa pasta?
Pasta.
¿Qué significa simple?
Simple.
So I thought this was your first day of Spanish class. You already know Spanish.
I get by. I know how to get by.
I'm joking. I'm halfway joking. But like the point of this little activity is to try and build up your confidence.
Okay.
There's no doubt that learning how to speak a new language is going to be challenging, and this is not going to be easy for you. It's not easy for everybody. But in my opinion, I do believe that Spanish is probably the easiest language for Americans to learn for a variety of reasons. One is that Spanish and English share Latin roots in about 30, maybe 40% of the language. So right off the bat, without studying Spanish, you could just about recognize 30% of the language.
Yep.
So that's good news. We share the same alphabet for the most part. Can you imagine learning Chinese and all those weird little figures?
Oh, no, I've been to China. That was not easy.
Yeah. And, we've got what we learned with the vowel pronunciation activity. There's 5 sounds. To put that into perspective, like it's easier for us to learn Spanish than Spanish speakers to learn English, I think, because our letter A can produce like 10 unique sounds. And in Spanish, it produces 1 sound. So, pronunciation and reading is really easy because of that. There's a lot of reasons why this is not as like if you wanted to learn Chinese, it would be incredibly hard, I can imagine. But learning Spanish. The other good news is like all the interaction we have with Spanish speakers. Do you live in Denver or Aurora?
I live in Aurora.
In Aurora.
But I was in Denver like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And for most of my life, I'm from Denver. So
between Aurora and Denver, I think Aurora is probably even more multicultural than Denver is.
I think now, yeah, Definitely.
There's Spanish speakers everywhere you go. I bet you can walk outside of your house and walk up to the next main intersection and see, 10 Spanish speakers before you get there. So that's the great news about learning how to speak Spanish is you can do it right here in Denver or Aurora without getting, like I had to get on a plane 20 years ago, but now with me as your teacher in the community that we live in, you can become fluent without getting on a plane. And you're going to get on a plane, I have a feeling. So even better.
At some point, yes. I hope so.
Let's take a look at our numbers in Spanish. Repite. 0.
0.
1.
1.
2.
2.
3.
3.
4.
4.
5.
5.
6.
6.
7.
7.
8.
8.
9.
9.
10.
10.
Okay, so I'm going to say some numbers here. Tell me de quién es el número. Whose number is it? 303 218 6242.
Walmart.
Bien. 303 576 0065.
Domino's.
Bien. 911
Emergency.
720 251 6652.
The language school.
Muy bien. Stephanie, ¿cuál es tu número de teléfono?
Oh, I have to look at my phone. I have to write it out. 303 656 7240.
Muy bien. So I got 303-656-7240.
Yeah.
Perfecto. You got it. All right. Apunta mi número. Apunta mi número. Write down my number. 7 7 2 0 2 5 7 8 5 3 9.
I hope I got that right. 720-257-8539.
You got it. Nice job, Stephanie.
All right. Cool.
Okay. ¿Cuánto cuesta un papel? ¿Cuánto cuesta?
How much is a piece of paper?
Mm-hmm. So I'm giving it to you here.
Oh,
Un centavo.
uno cento or
Yeah.
un cento.
Look here.
Un centavo.
Un centavo, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
¿Cuánto cuesta un bolígrafo?
Un centavo.
$1. So this one was a cent, and now this one is $1. $1.
Un centavo. Okay.
¿Cuánto cuesta un lápiz?
5 centavos.
¿Cuánto cuesta un marcador?
$2.
¿Cuánto cuesta un paquete de papel?
$5.
¿Cuánto cuesta un paquete de lápices?
$6.
¿Cuánto cuesta un paquete de bolígrafos?
$7.
Muy bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta un paquete de marcadores?
$8.
¿Cuánto cuesta un libro de español?
$9.
¿Cuánto cuesta una pizarra?
$10.
Muy bien. Español para la escuela y el trabajo. Spanish for work and school. Okay, with this vocabulary, we're going to matar dos pájaros de un tiro. We'll kill two birds with one stone, okay? Vamos a practicar. Repite, cosas.
Cosas.
Computadora.
Computadora.
Impresora.
Impresora.
Muy bien. So cosas just means things, okay? Things in general.
Okay.
Obviously, computadora is a computer and impresora is a printer.
Okay.
Now we have televisión
Televisión.
and proyector.
And proyector.
Okay, muy bien. Now we have marcador,
Marcador.
papel.
Papel.
Muy bien. All right, now we have our lugares. Lugares means places. Lugares.
Right.
Repite, lugares.
Okay.
Repite, lugares.
Oh, lugares.
Okay. Repite, salón de conferencia.
Salón de conferencia.
Muy bien, Stephanie. Salón de clase.
Salón de clase.
Perfecto, you got it. Oficina.
Oficina.
Escuela.
Escuela.
Personas.
Personas.
That just means people. Personas, okay? So here we have profesora,
Profesora.
estudiante,
Estudiante.
director,
Director.
empleado,
Empleado.
okay? Nice. So you're doing really good with this, okay? Give me 1 second here. So this next activity, we're gonna learn how to use flashcards to memorize vocabulary. Normally when we're in class, we do this with like physical flashcards, but since pushing everything over to the online classes, I've put this stuff into a digital application. So after class, I'll be sending you the login instructions if I haven't already. But let me pull up this one application for you real quick and just share this with you so you can kind of see how it works. Gosh, my internet is being really slow. I've never had any problems with my internet. I upgraded 2 weeks ago to get like their top service. And when it's on, it's great, but it's been super glitchy ever since then. I keep having to call in. I'm going to have to call in and have them reset the router after this, I guess. All right, so I'm in. Okay. Where is it? Desktop 2. 2. Okay. So you should be able to see, do you see this where it says the language school want to learn Spanish?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna log in here. Courses. So if I come down here, we're going to go to this one where it says flashcards. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right activity here. We'll just do it with this one.
Oh, you're fine.
There we go. All right. Nope, that's not the right one. There we go. All right. So the idea here, these are just flashcards that we've got integrated into this website. And the idea here is you can listen to it.
Actor.
That's the wrong side here. So if it shows up this way, you can click on this where it says options.
Okay.
I always advise you that you start by answering with the English word, okay? Choose this one that says answer with English, okay?
That's good, yeah.
So you can click here to get the pronunciation.
Actor.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you just say out loud what it means. Actor.
Act.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you can click over and you're right.
Actor.
Yeah.
So then you hit the next one. If you have any doubt of how to pronounce, I like, you know, for initially you to listen to the pronunciation here.
Simple.
We know that means simple. Okay? We go over here.
Simple.
Pasta.
Pasta.
Mm-hmm.
It's pasta, right?
Yeah.
Normal.
Normal. Okay. Let's imagine that for whatever reason you get to a word like this one, right? And you're like,
Mango.
mango. I'm not sure what that means. You can, you flip it over and you see that, it's mango. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the star button up here. So that means you're going to repeat it again. Okay.
Okay. Good.
As you go on, you can hit all.
Hotel.
Maybe you don't know what that means, right? So you star it.
Mm-hmm.
Final.
Final.
Is that way so it'll come back to me?
Yeah. You know what?
So you'll know what I need to work on.
So you go through all of these, right? And then you see how it gives you the option, study those 2 starred items. So you go back and you repeat them. And now you're like,
Mango.
mango. Oh, that's mango. Yeah, I know that. And then you can kind of unstar it. And then you're like, oh,
Hotel.
that's hotel. I know that one, right? And then you're back to where you started. So this is just a really good activity to help you memorize your vocabulary. So you'll see that I've got those built into the web application that I'm going to send you. Did I already create an account for you there?
Let's just say no.
Yeah, I might
I
not.
feel like you did at one point, and I think I got on at one point, but it was the wrong thing, so I don't think we fully did it. So no.
I'll make sure when I get off class that you have access to it.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
the idea here, a language is very complex. There's all kinds of complexities that go into it. And so it's very easy to get yourself overwhelmed. What do I do? What do I study? And so with this process, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you. If you want to learn how to effectively communicate in Spanish, all you need is words. Forget about grammar. I'm the strangest teacher you'll ever meet. I'm the anti-grammarian. I love grammar. Don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place for it, but not when you're getting started. When you're getting started, most of your time should be dedicated to memorizing new vocabulary. And like, just to put it into perspective, you know, imagine, you know, if you go down to the DR with your boyfriend, you know, and you get hungry, okay, and you walk into a restaurant, you don't know how to say, I want to order a steak, but you do know that the Spanish word for steak is beefsteak. So you walk into a restaurant and you say beefsteak. Do you think you're going to get steak, or do you think you're going to get an apple pie? Like, you'll get a steak. All you need is the word, right? You can start to communicate with words. The grammar all comes in to place over time. So while you're outside of class, I'm going to give you homework. You have to work for this. You have to do your part, do homework, but most of your time should be dedicated towards memorizing vocabulary. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Okay, so here's the dialogue that I taught you today of how to introduce yourself to someone in Spanish. Hola, me llamo David. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Stephani.
¿Cómo estás?
Estoy bien.
Mucho gusto.
Igualmente.
¿De dónde eres?
Oh, shoot. One second. ¿Dónde eres? Soy de los Estados Unidos.
Perfecto. ¿Y dónde vives?
Vivo en Colorado.
¿Dónde trabajas?
Trabajo en mi casa.
¿Qué te gusta?
Shoot, what was that one?
What do you like? ¿Qué te gusta?
Me gusta bailar.
Perfecto. ¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono?
Es 303-656-7240.
So you can now officially introduce yourself to people in Spanish. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Right. So when you're wrapping up a conversation, you would say, estamos en contacto, and that's like saying, let's stay in touch. And you can respond to that and say, me parece bien. Sounds good. Okay, let's practice. Estamos en contacto.
Me parece bien.
And then
that
hasta
right?
luego means until later, and you can respond to that and say nos vemos, which is like saying see you. Okay, let's practice. Hasta luego.
Nos vemos.
All right, so here's the app that I was telling you about. I'm gonna send this over to you in the chat real quick.
Yes.
All right, so go ahead